What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry about the voice, my microphone's dead, so I'm just going to use the GoPro mic for the intro here. What we have here is a 2022 Massimo 1000 cc UTV. It's the Odes 1000 Dominator X4 long travel. Basically, he's been a customer of mine. We fixed a couple things, but what he does with this, he goes out and does some trail riding, pretty hardcore stuff. He started smoking the belt. So what I'm going to show you guys on this one is how to replace the belt on this. Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to take both seats out, the seat belts, the center console, the shift knob, and we'll pull up the emergency brake so we can get the whole center console out. And we got to take out some of the plastics here on the bottom, and then a bracket, and then we'll be able to get into the clutch cover, and we'll take that out. So I'm going to pull this thing into the shop, let you guys go ahead and walk through those steps with me, and hopefully here shortly my microphone will be charged and you guys will have some better voice for this thing. All right, I don't remember where I left off in the intro, but we're gonna go ahead and replace the belt in this 2022 Massimo MSU 1000, Odes MSU 1000 X4 LT, whatever you want to call it. So here's the belt he got. This is from Massimo themselves. So what you got to do, you got to pull the seats out, passenger and driver. We got to take out the seat belts right down here on both sides. We got to take loose the shifter knob, and of course this one is not adjusted right because you can actually shift it without pushing a button in. Emergency brake all the way up. All the little tabs got to come out. Lift that up. We'll put everything in the bed of this deal, and then we'll get down into the nitty gritty. This one has a broken lever down here, so I have to get in there and screw with that a little bit and pry it up. So I'm gonna do that off camera till I get the seat out, disconnect the heated seats also, and then I'll show you guys the rest of the process as far as getting all that out down there. All right, here we're about 30 seconds later. All you gotta do is get in here. If that lever breaks, all you have to do is pry this back, and that'll take it out from underneath the pin right down here. It'll take it out from underneath that, and you just lift the seat up. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna throw you guys on a stand, and I'm just gonna go through the whole process of what it takes me to do this. It should take me about an hour. Could be a long video. If you wanna skip through it, go for it, but I'm just gonna do the whole process of what I gotta do. I also take loose these silly door straps. These like to break a lot. That way the door doesn't have to fling back and forth and beat me to death. So let's throw you back on the stand here. I'll be moving you around at different angles. I have no plans to cut this, but I do have a customer on the way to drop off some money that they owe me. But anyways, so unplug the seats. Again, there is no color coordination when it comes to the seat pads. They're both red and black, red and black. The high and low on these things, you can just, if you want the back to be high, figure out which one of those is high and which one's low, and you can swap them back and forth. One will run the butt, one will run the back. It doesn't run them both together. So let's get this and toss this in the back. Actually, I'm just gonna set it behind the unit. No point in putting it in the back of it. All right, point you guys back down here. Take a walk around to the other side, get that seat out. If I don't keep kicking everything. Move you in a little closer, point you down. Again, same thing with passenger seat. Lift up both, front, roll it over, unplug the heated seat part of it. And if you want, you can just pull it out the side like this. If you want to open the door, great. But you don't have to. Come back around, grab my 14 millimeter socket, and I believe it's a 16 millimeter wrench for the seat belts. This is gonna be kind of difficult. This stand's pretty big and may be in the way, so we'll go ahead and get rid of this. On both sides. I'm pretty much tall enough where I can be lucky enough to get to both sides here, if I can feel what I'm doing. Next, we'll start taking out the two little Torx bolts in the back. They used to be Phillips head screwdrivers, Phillips heads on these machines. They finally changed into something way better because the Phillips would strip out on these all the time. There's one on both sides, should be. There might be one on the floor in the front, a nice long one. And then we'll go ahead and pull out we'll take the shifter loose first. Forgot about that. Got to spin that off. Now somebody, when it comes to those shifters, okay, you don't want them all the way down. I talk about this in a few different videos. You don't want it all the way down, because what happens when you have it as far as he had it, you can shift it while you're riding it and knock it back into park, reverse, or something out of high. That would suck. You want it to be able to have the detent where that button pushes in pretty much even. So now you can go to reverse from neutral, you can go to high from neutral, but you can't go from high to low or reverse to park. See, that's all stuck now. That's the way it should be. I would hate for somebody to be out there. And then also, if you don't do that, you'll never know if you're perfectly in the detent to where the shift lever should, or the shift shaft and everything should be. This one should have a cable shifter on it, but you won't ever know if you're perfectly where the detent should be on that. It might be halfway. It could be halfway catching and driving, and you're just barely catching the dogs and dog houses on those gears, and eventually could slip, grind. So make sure you have this to where it stops in the detent. Again, you can go to high or reverse from there, but you don't want to be able to go through all the gears without having to push the button. So let's go ahead and grab my little favorite tool. This guy here, got it off of Amazon. You've seen it in many videos. There is one that Rocky Mountain ATV MC or MC ATV make that a lot of guys like. I'll leave a link for this one. I do not have the other one. And we'll go ahead and pull out all these push pins from both sides. And if you guys want to be smart, when you put them back into where you're able to get to the open sides easily. That way you're not struggling to get these things in and out. Especially that middle one. That middle one, if you leave it this direction, you can get to it from here. If you turn it that way, then you're struggling to get between the console and the cup holder. So let me run to the other side. Got to take this one out down here. That one wasn't put back in correctly. Run the other side, pull the ones out there. Then I should be able to pull this center console out. Got one in the back. Don't fall through. There we go. Well, they both want to fall through. There's that. That one wasn't put in very well. Pushed in far enough. There we go with that one. Now you do have an access point over here for the 1000s to pull this off to be able to check your dipstick for your oil. 800s, they don't have that piece on there that I can recall. They may have changed that with the newer style. Maybe they updated a few things, not sure. So we got this done. Let me come to the other side again, lift this out. That way I can see the emergency brake and the shift knob. I don't want to break off this guy here because they don't sell this little plastic piece separately. You will have to actually buy the whole shifter to replace this plastic piece if you break that off. I'm gonna slide you guys back if I can get you around this exhaust pipe from this motorcycle. Back here as I lift this off. That way I don't, well, like I just kicked you just now. And there's a lot of things going on about these that there's too hot, too much noise, so you can buy on Amazon. It's kind of like a 1/4-inch acoustic heat shield here. It also knocks down the sound and protects the inside from the heat and stuff like that, so it doesn't radiate on you as much. We'll set this, I usually set these things in the back, but we'll just set it off to the side. So now you have access to your air cleaner, throttle body, your TPS, your IEC motor. This is the idle air controller. These are available on Amazon, but when you do, they should have to be reprogrammed. You can do that with the HUD hacker stuff. On this particular model, like your Massimo stuff, you can reset it by holding the throttle wide open for 5 seconds, blah, blah, blah. On the Odes, like this is, you can't do that. You also have your TPS over here on this side. I'm sorry, this is where your throttle cable goes, not TPS. TPS over here, IEC, and your MAF sensor. These can get dirty, so make sure you check your, let me check his while we're just sitting here. And these things will fall out from the air box, like, just like that. Horrible, horrible design. I wish they would make that a little bit better. His air filter looks phenomenal, so now I gotta go find that guy that fell out. Didn't make it too far down, but it's, oh man, I'll have to find that in a minute. So anyways, let me go ahead and lower you guys down here a little bit. This is gonna take a second. I gotta do all the legs. Like I said, I don't plan on cutting away from this until my customer gets here in a few minutes. So the next thing, since you guys got to see me there, we'll take out all these here, these Torx bits, and we'll have to remove this plate. One of these I think has a nut on the back side. Nope, they changed that. They didn't, yep, there's a, and there's, in the inside here, there is another one. I think it's got a 8mm head on it. It's a plastic screw, and it's screwed into the plastics here. Goes through the plastics and right in, nope. Yeah, you can see it's self-tapper. Goes through the plastics and into the frame. That should be all of those. So this guy here, oh, nope, one more hidden in the front. Let me pull out, I'll pull that one out so I can get access to lift that forward. That's a 13mm, we'll take that loose. This one loose should be a 10mm nut on the back side here. And same thing underneath here once we get this off. So let me go ahead and grab my push pin pliers. See, this one is not turned the best angle, makes it a little difficult to get to. I could tell the floor as something stuck underneath it because this push pin is stuck. It is not wanting to come out like it should really easily. I do keep a few of these in stock. You can find these on Amazon also. It's a little bit of a pain. Well, apparently I'm gonna have to, yep, they got rocks and all types of stuff underneath there holding that push pin up. So if that thing is not flush all the way down like this and pushed in, which you guys can't see because the camera's on the wrong side, it just popped all the way through the bottom plastic, and now it should pull out a little bit easier. Should, but it's not. Let's battle this thing. There we go. Got it out. I'll have to put a new pin in it, not a big deal. Yeah, if it's not pushed all the way in, this part gets fat and gets caught in the plastics, and you can't get that piece out. All right, like I said, I got one more Torx up front, which I think runs right into the frame rail. Yep, that one runs right into the frame rail. The whole plastic piece will come out. Next, we'll take this guy out here. There's 10mm head nuts on the back side. So let's grab our Torx, our 10mm wrench that's stuck to my magnetic tray. There's one. Two. You see how far that thing came out. There we go. This shows you the pressure that's put on that thing from this this rail up there. Let me grab my 13. Thought I had it here. I might have used it on a different part of the job. Where did I go with that shorty 13? Not there. I was working on this quad. I don't remember having a 13 on it though, but it might be. Let's see, that should be a 14 on this. 14. Let me check back over here again. Oh, there it is underneath my screw gun. All right, so we got the 13. Hold this back, take this out. Did you see how that frame rail popped up? Shows you the pressure that thing's under. Another 10 in the back of here. Pull this out of the way. Said and done. Get that out of the way. So all that's off. We can pull the fuel filter up. Now the next fun part, this is the part that sucks. Trying to get this guy out. Looks like they only have the 8 mils up top. They used to put one down low. Yep, there's one down over here. Sometimes I just cut that and go around it because it's in such a horrible, horrible spot. There should be a 10 on there. Let me grab an 8mm piece for the adapter. Oh, we're breathing heavy like a old man. Gotta find all my tools now. Gotta remember where I put everything at. There we go. So there's 8mm head here. And this little Stanley ratchet works phenomenal for angles like this. I probably could have used my ratcheting, oh crap. And my electric ratchet and fit it in there, but this is a little bit easier fitment for me. Clutch box, so what you can do, we can pull, let me cut these wires. Or the zip ties. Real quick. Ooh, that one feels like a stretchy Harbor Freight one. These are 10s, so we'll take those 10s out. If I could find my adapter for that, I would be a lot happier. Make my life a lot easier. Don't know where I put it at. I may have to cut just to go find that thing. So you got a 10 here. Usually I use an impact. There, here. Ow! Smashed my dang finger, my pinky. That one I smashed doing that brute force a while back. There's that one, and there's another one on the back side of here, which can be a pain. There's that one. It'd go a little bit faster, like I said, if I had my adapter wherever the heck I left it at. And then I need to grab my dikes and cut off some more of these zip ties because they're holding on all types of fun stuff. All right, let me cut that zip tie. Doing some of that without you guys in the right angle. Whoops. That's the hard part, to keep kicking this thing. I wish I had a videographer. Could afford one of those. Make my life a lot easier. So once you got this loose, I can slide this guy out probably and take the rest of that off. And drop this bad boy down out the way. Put it in the back seat. Now this thing here I usually take and just flip up and out of my way. Apparently I'm going to have to take the fuel filter off of this one. And my tin. There's that. All right, should be able to get that out of my way now. Voila. I have to grab my chair, and I'm gonna have to cut away. I will have to cut the video here real quick to find my 3/8 or 1/4 inch adapter. I don't know where I put it at, and that's why I'm gonna go ahead and get out all of those and the ones down there, because it makes it a little bit easier with a 1/4 inch drive, 10 mil swivel on this gun. So let me cut away, find that real quick, and then we'll jump into getting the rest of this belt cover off this 2022, what I'm going to call Odes 1000. Well, it was exactly where it's supposed to be, in my toolbox where it belongs, but that's besides the point. So let's cut one more of these zip ties there, and we'll have to replace all these zip ties. And while we're here, let's definitely check the stator plug. These things are known to melt because a lot of times the wires on the stator side are bigger than what's on the harness, and this one actually looks like it's nice. Both wires are big, so you know, just something to check while you're here, so we don't miss that and run into an issue down the road having to pull this whole thing off again. See if we can't get this fuel filter up there out of the way. Also the plug for the heated seats out of the way. There we go. So now we can go ahead and start knocking out all these 10 mil 6x10 bolts. Now if these things get stripped, if these bolts get stripped out, or not the bolts, but the well nuts and the plastic, these don't need to be very tight, maybe 7 Newton meters, just hand tight, nothing crazy. Just keep it simple, nice and easy. Move all my stuff out the way there. Come on. And the bottom ones I will pull out. I don't want to lose those. And this is easier to do on a car lift if you have a car lift, so you can get good access. You could take the skid plate off, but me trying to avoid that at the moment is why I use the tools I have. All right, guys, my camera just overheated, and I haven't been doing this very long. It was kind of sitting here in the sunlight, so I am definitely going to have to invest in something different. I mean, I like the GoPro because I can tell it to turn off and on, all that good stuff, which I'm surprised it just didn't do that. But this overheating thing is driving me crazy. Granted, it is a Black Hero 9 Black, but I'm not going to invest crazy amounts of money into that. All right, anyways. I need a flathead screwdriver, which I did not bring along after all that nightmare, which I already knew that. pull the boot off for the CVT cover here. So I'm hoping you guys got a good view of that. That is just a rubber cover, which it should just pop right off. And then with the 1000, as long as we don't lose any of those, the fun part, getting this guy out. So that's out. Now you can see the belt. Secondary clutch is there. And what we'll do while we're here, we'll definitely check the rollers, make sure those look good on the secondary clutch. I know the Can-Ams are notorious for breaking those. The primary clutch, I mean, we'll check the sheaves, but honestly, the belt looks like it's set in a pretty good spot. You can see where I can see where it slipped in the past, and it's kind of glazed it a little bit. And it's got a little bit of wear where the one-way bearing's been. These rollers don't look bad, so let's grab. I think I have the. I don't know if I have the right size bolt with me or not. I don't think I do. Yeah, because it's like a. I think it's an 8x175 millimeter bolt. And I know I have it in one of my drawers here. Which drawer? That's the question. I'm usually better organized than this, but again, I've loaned things out. Here we go. And loaned some things out. Throw a little bit of anti-seize on this bolt. That way we don't get stuck in there. 17 millimeter. And we should have a ratchet over here already. I thought I was better prepared than what I was to do this job without having to walk away from it. All right, so again, anti-seize I use. I don't use an impact or anything on this. I don't want to screw up any of the threads. I've had these bolts get seized in here before. You know, there's things happen sometimes. So this, again, this is CV Tech clutches. They're pretty decent. They have plastic trail blocks on the inside. There can be a bit of a pain sometimes to get clutched right for whatever type of riding you're doing. You can respring them, primary, secondary. I don't know if you could change this. You should be able to get different helixes for it. I haven't done that myself, but I've changed the weights in them. I've changed the primary spring, secondary spring for more of a trail ride style than what they have in the past. So now we'll take the belt off. Slowly but surely here. And if we look, let me see if my light's on still. Doesn't look like it. So you can kind of see the glazing on this thing. You can definitely see where the one-way bearing rode on that. Actually, this one's not a one-way bearing. It rolls both directions. Some of the other clutches have a one-way. Let's flip you over here. So we'll look down in here, this bearing here, you want to make sure it rolls nice and neat. That way, as this primary clutch spins and it's open, that belt has something to sit on and spin, all right? Or this spins and that belt sits in it idly. Now, if you're having problems shifting these things while it's running, your idle may be too high, which there is a adjustment in here. This is a last resort up there. Sometimes you just need to clean your throttle body out, your IAC passages out, and it can reset itself, make it run better. But again, you want to check the sheaves, inner and outer one, the bearing down in there, the sheaves on the secondary, you can see how it's spread apart. So what I was saying about if it's idling too high, or this secondary might need to be shimmed out a little bit sometimes, is what happens, this spinning, it's turning this. If the secondary clutch is turning, the internals of your transmission is turning. So when you go to put it in gear, it's hard. It's not smooth and fluid. You should be able to put your hand on the secondary clutch and it pretty much stop. Should stop completely, shouldn't be spinning at all. Sometimes they do spin just a little bit and you should be able to stop it. And like I said, if you're having a hard time shifting, especially like on a hill, if you're on a hill, basically what happens is that the drive shaft back here and the wheels are putting torque on the transmission inside. So if you want to shift it when you're on a hill at a stop, bump the gas a little bit. That'll give this a little bit of a turn. Unload that transmission and you should be able to shift to the gear you want. Now, if you're having troubles just at an idle shifting in the gear on flat surface or from park to reverse, whatever it is, guaranteed you're having a clutch issue. The trail blocks like to melt in these sometimes. I've seen these clutches explode. On the 17 models, I've seen the nut on the backside of the pinion gear in the transmission. I think it's called the pinion gear in the transmission. Back out, push through the transmission side cover, through the CVT cover, into here, get caught up, and explode everything. So all we gotta do is reverse what we're doing. We'll check out the rollers. Those look good. This roller looks good. The ramps look good. Everything looks pretty good here. We'll go ahead and install this new belt. Of course, you want to install it with the arrows pointed forwards. The direction of rotation is like this. That's wearability. And when it's in the secondary clutch, you should be able to see this white line right there. So let me stick you guys back down here. I know this is going to be a pretty interesting cut, because I might have to cut it to flip the picture over in my editing software. I know sometimes it'll show it upside down, and then I have to flip it over, and it's not being cut. I may not be able to do that. So maybe a few cuts in that. So we'll just spin the new belt on, same way the old one came off. If I can get my fingers down here so I don't smash them. I can hear Marshall pulling up right now, my other customer. So we got that. Back out this bolt. You should just pretty much spin out by hand once you, like I said, anti-seize really helps that out. We'll back this out. And then what we'll do, go ahead and I'll turn the secondary clutch like this to get it to close again. And you can see where that belt rides. So I'm gonna pause this for a second, deal with my customer, and we'll get back into this. All right, got that taken care of. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna move some of this stuff here. We can see the belt deflection looks pretty good. It's not super tight, it's not super loose. That's really nice. I'm gonna grab an air gun and just kind of blow out the secondary or the primary. I should have did that before I put the belt on, but that's all right. It's not gonna affect anything. We just wanna make sure any debris or dirt is not in there. Let me just lean in here. We're just gonna, you'll see that? That's all dust and debris. You want to try to get all that out the best of your ability. I know the air compressor's running, but if you guys look, if any dealership looks and does this, they should know this is a very neglected thing. Nobody takes the primary covers off or the clutch CVT covers off and blows out these clutches because, yeah, this is a lot of work, but it's definitely a necessity. All that stuff I blew out of there, basically what it's going to do is when it lays up against this, all the aluminum, it's going to create this stuff not to dissipate the heat. It's supposed to dissipate so your belt life, longevity, and other things stays there longer. So you definitely need to come in your clutches. I don't care if it's a Can-Am, Polaris, RZR, whatever, your CF Moto, doesn't matter. These CVT covers need to come off. You need to blow this stuff out because all that stuff on there coats this and makes it retain heat, which causes your belt to have more heat, which causes belt slippage and causes premature wear on your belt. So clean them out. That'll help with heat dissipation on both of these things, and then you won't have that big an issue. So let's go ahead and fire this up, and we'll take a look what's going on right here. I don't know how much you guys are gonna vibrate or not. All right, so remember me talking about this. See how that primary clutch is turning? Pretty loud. And that's gonna be from the weights and stuff inside. So the secondary clutch is sitting very, very still, which is awesome. That's what you want to see. You want to be able to do this and have it sit there. That makes it shifting very simple. When you give it gas, you want it to start spinning. You see how that works? And now that belt's getting maybe a touch low for my taste, but that's actually pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. You can see basically the way it works. Centrifugal force clutch squeezes this, makes the gear in the front bigger, and opens the secondary, makes the gear in the back smaller, which increases your top speed and stuff. And then for your low speed and acceleration, front gear's small in the front, gear in the back is pinched together, which is big, creates more torque. So that's where we're at on that. So basically, turn you guys this way, turn this off. That's how you change the belt on one of these things. Those are the things you need to look at when changing your belt, is make sure the inner CVT, outer CVT, man, I'm an idiot. The inner sheave and outer sheaves are clean of debris. They're not all marred up. You can go in there some Scotch-Brite and clean them up if you want. That'll definitely help. Make sure it's a little bit of cross-hatching on there. Blow out your clutches. And like I said, these style, they will get hot and they can melt those trail blocks inside there. I've seen that a lot, and it's a pain to clean that outer sheave out. A lot of times it's just easier to buy a clutch. They're not cheap, but sometimes it's easier. But proper maintenance is key when it comes to one of these, I don't know, who the hell ever owns this thing, Odes, Massimo, Benchy, High Sun, whatever it is, Lin High, whatever. Clean these clutches, go in there, blow them out. All that debris makes a huge difference. I'm just going to put this thing back together off camera real quick, and then we'll go ahead and take it for a little bit of drive so you guys just see it drive around. You've seen how the secondary clutch sits still, so the shifting's easier. If that thing spins, it makes shifting harder, plays hell in the transmissions on these things. Again, if you're on a hill and you can't shift, bump the gas, which takes that load off that transmission a little bit, and then you could probably shift it. Yeah, and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing back together off camera, and then we'll jump in it after I get together here in probably, 15, 20 minutes, and we'll take it for a ride. I know I said I was going to cut from it, but nobody wants to watch me put this silly thing back together. You saw how it came apart, just kind of reverse order, the same way. And again, with that shifter, make sure that button is able to be pushed in and out about even with the top of the head. Like I said, this button should go pretty much even right here. It shouldn't be sticking out, and it shouldn't be all the way in past that. That's proper shifting on this thing. So I'm going to put it back together again for the 10th time I said that, and I'll catch you guys here in a few minutes. All right, we got it all back together. Let's go ahead and hop in this thing, fire it up. Well, forgot my tools. Let me pull all my tools out here real quick, and we'll jump in this thing and fire it up. All right, so we're in it now. We've got the button where it actually works properly. Push in, that way you can shift. And neutral, you can go to reverse, but you can't get out of reverse. And from neutral, you should be able to go to high. You can't get out of high unless you push the button and go forwards. So we're gonna put it in park, emergency brakes down, key on, let the heat pump, let the fuel pump cycle. Fire this thing up. Blinker working, high beam, low beam's working, lights off. We'll put high beam. We are in pretty much what we call turf mode, shifting to neutral or reverse. Check, make sure nobody's behind me. Wife and kids are outside. All right, so backing this thing out. Make sure I don't run into anything. So like I said, you should be able to go from reverse. Now you go from neutral, you can go to high. We're gonna start on low range. Feels good there. The engagement feels really good. Let's go from mode here. Trip. Hours, 143.4 hours. That's good. All right, so we're at 1200 RPMs in low range. Let's see where the clutch starts to engage. About 15 and a half, 16. And this is the low range. We're gonna take it a little easy right now. Kind of drive around the yard, the property. Let that belt, you should put quite a few miles on it before you start romping on it. Going to kind of drive around. And this has oversized tires, and that actually feels pretty good on the engagement on this thing. No complaints. Pass, drive down the creek. And we will take it for a ride up the street in high range. I just want to make sure everything feels okay down here and low. We're gonna stop. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Throw it in reverse. About 1,500 RPMs again. All right, now we're gonna throw this bad boy in high. You can see we're in high. And we'll take it for a ride down the road. We're not gonna go crazy far, just down the road, up a side street, and that's it. The good part about this unit is it does have blinkers, horn, brake lights, tail lights, everything to be street legal. No kicking or bucking. Blinker is on. I'm screaming when I got a microphone in my neck. Feels pretty good. There's no complaints on belt engagement. Seems to shift back pretty quick. I'm on the brake a little bit. Seems to shift down pretty good. So let's go ahead and turn around, take a ride back down the road. And like I said, I don't want to romp on it. You never want to romp on it from a dead stop from a machine that has a CVT in it. So we're running at 30 mile an hour, 4,900 RPM, 35. So let's see. We are going downhill, 45 to 41. Machine's not dancing or anything, so that's really nice. And it seems to stop relatively well with these bigger tires on there. I think these, I don't remember what size these are. Let's see, these are 3210 R14s. They actually feel pretty dang good. You can see they got quite a few miles on the tires. Feels good, just waiting on traffic right now to get by. But it feels good, everything runs good. Engagement feels great, no slipping, no kicking, no bucking. I'm pretty happy with the end result of how that feels. The clutching on these seem pretty good. It's not often I get my hands on a newer unit like this. I say newer, 2022. I'm working on a lot of the older ones like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. But this one feels actually pretty darn good. No complaints about it. See if I can't go run over the wife and kid over here. I just got bonked in the nose. Picking boogers are bad. Picking boogers are bad. Anyway. Let's turn around, park this thing. We'll give Doug a call, tell him we are ready to rock and roll. His machine feels good. If I don't run over my fence right here, because I didn't make that turn anywhere near in time. And it is dusty. We haven't had a good rain in a while. But boy, this thing feels actually pretty good. If it was quieter, if this thing was quieter, I'd be happier with it, but that is what it is. So let's back it up. Park it next to the old pickup truck. And bam, we are done. So that's pretty much, guys, how you change a belt. And again, this is, I looked at the VIN, it is a 2022 Odes 1000-4JC. The old days we called them X4, which stand for 4-door. LT stand for long travel. ST would be short travel. The VIN numbers would depict that and what works there. I actually have a picture in my old phone of the VIN numbers and what the VIN number would give you on what model that was. So that's how you change a belt on one of these. not a long video. I got a few shorts I'm gonna put out on some issues with the 9-pin connector that's behind the battery box. I talked about the clutches on this thing, and I think I talked about transmission. I'm gonna put a short out on the transmission. Somebody asked me to do a short on where you drain the fluid and where you put it in and how much and what style. I say a 75-140 works. The full synthetic works the best in the transmission, the front and rear differentials. That has been the best, and Odes had changed that back in like 2018 when they were having a bunch of issues with the older ones blowing the front differentials and rear differentials apart. Again, guys, I appreciate everyone who has subbed to the channel, who left thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. You know, whatever comment you leave, great. I will try to answer it back. If it just says great video, I might give it a thumbs up, or I'll give it a like or something. I probably won't comment back on that. If you leave a horrible comment, a crappy one, I might comment something dumb back to you. So whatever works, makes you happy, I'm cool with it. And if you haven't subbed, please do turn on post notifications. And I try to upload every Friday. It's been tough still doing this by myself, looking for a videographer who might want to partner up and do some YouTube with me here in Southwest Missouri in the Springfield area. Give me a holler if you know somebody. Man, I appreciate it, guys. And again, I have hats and t-shirts available. If you want one, let me know. Hats are 30 shipped to you. Shirts are 25 shipped to you. Kid sizes will be available and are available, actually. Let me know in the comments below. I'll leave some links. Follow my links for my affiliate links. Anything else I got going on here, you know, thanks to all the companies that have sent me products and all that good stuff. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on my next upload. See ya.